And today we have a special presentation near the end of our hour together. Our Axe Legacy Foundation is here. We have Ray Boyle. He's in the back of the room. He is our managing director from the Axe Legacy Foundation. And he is going to be joining Elba, which is our regional director for Axe Legacy Foundation. And they will be presenting donor recognitions today. So at the very end of our hour together, we will end with a donor recognition program. So to begin our meeting, I'd like to announce our Axe Signature Experience Team Player of the Month for July is Freddie. And Freddie actually works in Willowbrook Court. Some of you may know Freddie. She's been with us since August 1989, a long time. She's provided just outstanding customer service throughout the years, not only to residents, but to team members, as well as families. And although that she primarily works in the skilled rehab unit, she also never misses a chance to help wherever needed. You will find her going into rooms of residents she's not currently assigned to when the lights are on, and she's always willing to give a hand with team members. If you have ever met Freddie, I know that picture is poor quality, but if you've ever met her, you will remember her with her smile. She has the most amazing, beautiful smile, and she's very friendly. So when you have a chance, if you're up in Willowbrook Court, find Freddie, introduce yourself, and congratulate her because she truly is one of our greater team members and does an excellent job day in and day out. So we'd like to congratulate Freddie. Okay, so I wanted to switch gears and talk about culinary for a few minutes. We rolled out the new menu, and we would love to hear your thoughts on the new menu, the things you like about it, the things you dislike about it. And in addition, and I'm going to open up the floor for a few comments, but in addition to that, I just wanted to remind everyone that the delivery meals that we deliver to the homes are from 5 to 6 p.m. And so if you are having a meal delivered and it's 5:05, please do not call the culinary department because they literally get calls right away. Where is my meal? It's not here yet. We deliver between 5 and 6, so we can't guarantee the meal will be delivered at your door at 5 p.m. It could be likely closer to 6. We also want to ask the audience here about the Eats app. How many of you use the Eats app? So as you know, for the users in the room, when you make a reservation, you can make a reservation out by 2 weeks or 14 days. What time does another day show up on your Eats app? Midnight, thank you. So we do have the option to change that during the day. So we can change the next day or the 14th day that ends up on the Eats app during the day hours. Some of you, I don't know if anyone in the room is guilty of this, but some residents will stay up till midnight. There are a couple guilty parties in the room. And make their reservations because they want to eat at a specific time. So others, like me, I'm asleep at midnight, would love to have the Eats app available during the day when they add that additional day. So a show of hands, how many of you would like to change it to a daytime option? Okay, and how many of you like the midnight shift? All right, so the daytimers win. We will change the Eats app. Thank you. So at this time, I'd like to just invite any comments about the new menu. And this is not a food forum, just a few comments, things you like, things you'd like us to change, so that we can make those tweaks. We're also going to be working with Mary Lou and her culinary team as we move forward. So please also let culinary committee members know your thoughts so that as they meet with Darren, we can also tweak the menu. Okay, Mary Lou's going to make a few comments.
I have regular discussions with Darren and Chef about menus and tell him what doesn't work and what does work. Our next culinary meeting is the first Monday in August. Don't ask me the date, I don't remember. People call me all the time. I don't mind if you call about food, but I am not in charge of reservations. Okay? I can't make a reservation, you have to help me. No, because I can't make a reservation, so I'm not going to be able to help you. All right, but if anybody has comments about the food, please write it down, put it in my box, and we will be very happy to address it.
Okay, thank you, Mary Lou. Any likes or dislikes on the new menu? Anything you'd like to share? No one? I can't. Roz has a comment. I can't believe this.
I'd like to have less fried foods
Okay,
and healthier foods.
thank you.
Okay, Richard or Toby, I'll be right there.
I just want to say I am absolutely delighted because I don't have to cook. I find
Thank
it
you.
very good.
Hold on, I got one back here, and then I'll come back up. Hold on. There you go, Judy.
I like a little less filling starch or cornstarch, whatever they use to thicken the soup. We had vegetable soup last night, and it was, you know, if it had just been plain vegetables, no thickening, I would have enjoyed it. Thank you.
Sure, I think we use rice flour because it's gluten-free, but maybe we need to tone it down a bit. And if it's a vegetable soup, you know, you don't really need the thickener. Thank you.
In the main dining room, I'd like to see more consistency. Salmon can be cooked every night differently. And when you ask the wait staff to put sauce on the side, it still comes out with the sauce on top. So the consistency of the line chef in cooking a chicken or salmon is different every night.
Okay, thank you, Ellen.
Okay, hold on, we're coming around, everybody. Here, Julie.
It isn't just the salmon. They say they use the same recipes, but frequently you can order the same dish, maybe in different days of the week. It doesn't taste the same.
Okay, thank you, Julie.
Okay, Judy. Hold on, I'll be right back.
It is a statistical fact that 65% of the people over the age of 65 have some degree of lactose intolerance. I have it very badly. Please, please, there are so many dishes that have cheese or cream and so few things on the menu that I can eat. I know everybody loves cheese. I love cheese, but I can't eat it. And if they could just leave the cheese out, and a lot of the dishes, they just put cheese in. I know why they do it, because it makes it taste better, and it does. But you can't eat it, you can't eat it. So if they could just do away with, you know, a lot of the dairy product stuff that's in the food.
Okay, thank you, Judy. Mary Lou? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi. Oops. Can I speak?
Yes, please.
All right, I'm not going to talk about the bagels because you've heard about them for
Yes,
a year.
I have.
So I will not talk about that. But I'll talk about the chopped liver. It's much better. No,
okay.
no, listen. It's much better than it was when I first had it. However, they have to add fried onions to the liver. They've got to make it more palatable. It isn't really that good.
Okay,
Sauteed,
you know it's
sauteed.
fun.
She's right. She's right. Whoever said that. Sauteed onions. They have to add that, and it will be better.
So I've been told that the Publix brand
It's the best.
is the best. Now, I will tell you that Myra brought me a scoop of it last Friday, It was so good. I stopped at the Publix here because my Publix does not have chopped liver, and I stopped and got a container, went home, read the label. I know why it's good. There's 15 grams of carbs per serving because there's sugar in it. That's why it's so tasty. I did eat the whole thing over the weekend and enjoyed it. Now I'm back on my keto diet, but I do understand why it's so good.
It really is delicious. I even use it as an appetizer. Very good.
It's great. Thank you. Okay. Mary Lou, did you have any?
Everything is cooked to order, theoretically. That's the whole goal of the new menu. So if you don't want cheese on your chicken parm, it's not really chicken parm, but they will not put the cheese on if you don't want it. So ask the waiter for that. The waiter's going to give you a hard time, but you say, just do it, please. And it'll happen.
Great, thank you. Okay, well, we're going to work on that, Ellen. Okay. So we will move on to another topic. That was pretty easy. I thought I was going to have tomatoes thrown at me and all kinds of other goodies. Okay, so I wanted to share Leading Age Southeast is our association that we're members of, and Leading Age Southeast was established in 1963. They represent Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi, and they represent providers such as ACTS in those states. There is a national Leading Age as well that ACTS is a member of, but they provide educational opportunities for us. They also provide legislative assistance. They go to bat on your behalf as well as the providers to initiate laws in the state of Florida on our behalf. They work with FLYCRA on a lot of bills that are before the legislator. But I wanted to share that I recently was elected to serve on the Board of Trustees for the association. I'm quite proud to be serving on the Board of Trustees. So just wanted to share that. Not to brag, but I was excited to be elected and look forward to serving Leading Age Southeast and working on behalf of the association. And that is a volunteer board, by the way. Okay, quickly, the forum. The resident forum, which a lot of you are on, is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Roz, is a forum designed to enhance communication among the residents. However, some of our managers, like myself and other managers, are also members. So we can keep up with what's going on in the community, or we can send out a notice. Periodically, I'll send out a notice on there. I think Ross sends out notices. But recently, we had several residents air their displeasure with the new menu. And it kind of became, a thread of emails. And it also, in those emails, there were a few disparaging comments about management as it relates to culinary. And as quickly as I joined the forum, I could quickly unjoin because I don't feel that that's the avenue to air concerns. And I don't want to be defensive on the forum or have to defend culinary or any leadership team member. I'd rather deal with it on a one-to-one. Many of you, when you have issues, you call me, you send me a private email, you come see me. Often people will stop at the front desk, ask if I'm available. If I'm available that moment, I will drop what I'm doing at my desk and see you. I try to be available. So with that in mind, I ask that the forum be for proper communication and that we consider not creating negative comments on the forum, but rather work through the channels. Roz? I think Ellen's going to bring.
Hold on one second, Roz, so everyone at home can hear. Thank you.
I agree with what you're saying. So what I will do is put a notice on. I did it a couple of years ago, but it's time to do it again. Not to have negative issues posted. And I could call the person or persons who've done it to tell them individually.
I mean, I think I've announced it here. One of those individuals, she and I talked, and she did apologize for making some of the comments. I don't think you need to go back to
right.
that thread, but I just want to set some expectations from my end and how I work, and hopefully if you are frustrated with me on anything, you tell me. I like to be told. If I'm not being responsive, it's okay to say I'm upset with you and let me know why. It's a relationship, and that's how I view it. It's an ongoing relationship, and there are going to be conflicts, but let's resolve them in the best way we can. Thank you. Okay, so I wanted just to remind you on July 29th, we have the AARP defensive driving class. There is availability still on the sign-in sheet. So if you're interested, please sign up. We also have July 30th, International Friendship Day from 10 to 12, and it's going to be in the great room on the second floor. Mary Lou is going to have a card-making workshop, and that's a way to acknowledge friendships and to thank people who are in your lives. Okay, and yes, I like that. Barnabas will deliver them directly. He is away, by the way. He is on active duty in, I think, Alabama. But so he'll be back, though, soon. Okay, community updates. I wanted to start by talking about the Cove gift shop. We've moved the Cove from upstairs to the main lobby behind the coffee station, and we're in the midst of designing the space. We will be sending out a survey to ask you what types of items would you like to see in the shop. We need to have items that will sell, so that's why we want to ask you. Often, individuals might forget to buy something at the store and they don't feel like going out. They can drop into the Cove and purchase toothpaste or deodorant or something that they forgot and they're out of, and they can quickly replace it. So a survey will be coming out to ask for your opinion. We also would like to have a small committee of residents who will then look at that survey and then come up with a final selection. And we're looking for individuals who have a retail background. So if you ever worked in retail or owned a shop of your own, we'd love for you to serve on the committee. I'm looking at Pat. We'd love for you to serve on the committee to help us do it right. So when we open the shop, it's well received. Team members, visitors, and family members can also go to the Cove and use the items and purchase merchandise. In addition, we will have a committee that will run the Cove. So if you're interested in serving in the Cove, Sheila Duchin and a group will be overseeing that. But let us know, and we would love for you to participate. Any questions on the Cove? No? Okay. Dinner Loop. So starting August, the Dinner Loop will be running Monday through Friday. There'll still be a sign-up sheet. So if, for those of you who love to go to St. Andrews, it's Monday through Friday. You can sign up and be picked up at the usual time listed. Electric vehicle chargers. We are in the process of getting 2 chargers for our community here. And we have partnered with EV Connect, which is a leading provider of EV charging stations. Now, the charging stations will have a charge to them, meaning that if you use them, you'll have to pay to use them, just like if you go to the gas station, you pay for your gas. We know that one of the charging stations will be located in the C building, and that's because we have a couple who own 2 Teslas living here. They just moved in, so it makes sense. We're going to have one over by the maintenance department, and then we will have a second one probably in a central location. So those are coming, we're hoping, by year end. And we are, I wanted to, speaking of traveling and transportation, motor scooter safety, if I can just remind those of you who use motor scooters to watch your speed, to drive on the right side, just like on the road, and when you're turning corners, to go slow because pedestrians could be at that corner, and we've had some near hits or misses along the way, so we're just reminding those of you who use motor scooters to be super careful. And we are in need of an upright piano, so if anyone has a piano that is in good working condition in their home and they no longer use it and they'd like to donate it, please give me a call. Yes.
Nobody follows 15 miles an hour.
Okay, so
I walk the property quite a bit, and it's scary.
Oh.
And a lot of it, and it's not just residents or guests, it's the workers.
right. So yesterday I had my team member town hall meetings, and we meet at 6:30 in the morning. We meet and then 2 afternoon meetings. So we cover all 3 shifts, and that was on my agenda with the team members to watch your speed, to take your time, and to be super careful around those corners. I know Ross has reached out to the county to see if we can put speed bumps along the way so that it will slow everyone down. So we're just waiting to get approval if we can do that. Even though we are private property, we do have a lot of ambulances and fire trucks coming on our property, so we just want to get their okay before we proceed. Okay, COVID update. So currently we have 11 independent living residents with COVID. 5 of those are likely to resolve by Friday. We also have 6 cases in OBT and 1 case in Willowbrook Court, and we have about 2 employees out with COVID right now. Just a reminder, if you've been exposed, please make sure you either test yourself or you go down to the clinic and get tested and test periodically for several days after. If you start to feel any symptoms of COVID, please stay home. Also consider wearing a mask for those initial days of exposure, just because you would feel bad. I know I would feel bad if I was exposed and then I gave it to another person. So we're asking you to consider, even though our policy changed and we don't require that partners isolate, only the one that has COVID isolate, we still ask that we use good judgment along the way. And if you maybe put a mask on for a few days at least, check yourself or get tested in the clinic, and let's try to reduce the number of COVID cases. Any concerns or questions related to that topic? No? Okay. You are making this super easy for me today. Thank you. Okay, we had Christmas in July in Oak Ridge Terrace. That is where we sell nice used goods. And Alicia, Colleen, and Helene Greenberg were instrumental in the sale. So I just wanted to personally thank them and publicly thank them. The proceeds that were raised, $650, will go to the Axe Legacy Foundation Enrichment Fund. And the Enrichment Fund is a fund that is used here only. So we can actually buy equipment with that money. We can buy a nice amenity, maybe in Oak Bridge Terrace. We can use those funds here for Edgewater. So how is our occupancy? We have had one sale in July. July is always a slow month for us. We are currently 88% occupied, but when you add committed and selected apartments, we are 94.95% occupied, committed and selected. Okay, so last month, Edgewater traffic light update. So I wanted to provide an update on that. Obviously, if you've driven in the last 2 days, you've met our new traffic light. And I'd like to ask Carol Posner to come up, if you could, Carol. Or I can come to you, but it won't be on the TV. Would you like me to come to you? Well, I have a gift for you. Okay, so most of you know that Carol has worked for the last 2.5 years on getting the traffic light here. She's good friends with everyone in the county by now, and she made the traffic light happen. Thank you so much. So, I was thinking, thank you, husband. So I wanted to provide a small gift of appreciation. I considered flowers. I even considered chocolates. But then a light went off inside my head and thought of a tabletop knickknack that would spruce up your apartment, because I know it needs sprucing up. So here we go. So your own traffic light. So your own traffic light. I know that's going to look wonderful in your apartment. You'll find a place. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. You can turn it off if you'd like. Okay, so there is a switch, if I can find it. We might need DeAndre. No, I think it's silence, but not off. So someone with younger eyes, if you could take a look at that. My eyes are so bad that I can't see the switch. You would like a stop sign, sure. Okay, so that ends our Ask the Director meeting, but I shared this, this quote last month, and I really love it. It's Piglet noticed that even though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. And so today we are going to provide gratitude to the donors for the Axe Legacy Foundation. And I'd like to introduce Alba, who is our regional manager, who will begin the official donor program. Please welcome Alba.
Hold this. I have to hold this? Oh, I have to hold this, so I'm gonna see if I can do two things at the same time. Good morning. I think it's still morning. Thank you. Thank you, Susan, for carving out some time for the foundation and including us today in this message of love and hope. I know you've received a lot of information today, so I think, I hope that this message that you'll walk away with is of this love and kindness that you show for each other here at Edgewater, and that together we accomplish many great things. Together in the last 10 years, Through generous bequests, resident fundraisers, and from your generous giving, we've built the Edgewater Samaritan Fund to over $1 million, sending the message to residents who outlive their resources that here at Edgewater, we are family and we take care of our family. Together, we have also built the largest scholarship program in all of the Southeast region. The Edgewater Scholarship Fund currently holds $194,000, providing valuable financial support to staff and a true demonstration of this community's commitment to staff and education. At this annual event, we take time to thank and acknowledge all of our donors, and we especially thank the Edgewater Circle of Loving Kindness Honor Society. Their names listed in the program in front of you. I want to thank the Circle of Loving Kindness Honor Society for including Edgewater in their estate plans, for making major contributions in support of programs and funds, for funding special projects, and for giving of your time and for your friendship. I want to thank you for your commitment and generosity. And since the group is small, I'm going to read their names off today, but before I do that, I'd like to say that none of these individuals had made these gifts to receive such recognition. The foundation will ask for them to please allow us to do so, so they may serve as an example to others and help encourage this charitable future for Edgewater by encouraging a culture of philanthropy. I thank Catherine Abarbato, Eloise Brown, Ferdinand Camino, Helene Greenberg, who was very sad she couldn't be here today. Mrs. Terry Irwin is not a resident. She is a friend of Edgewater. Herb Jacobson, Betty Crone, Sharon Mahoney, and the foundation of Florence Schmidt and Bonnie Walters. I thank you all for the many different ways that you find every day to make your home Edgewater a better place than you found it. A round of applause for the Circle of Loving Kindness members. It's important to recognize also the deceased members of the Circle of Loving Kindness for their contributions to Edgewater. The proverb, one generation plants the seeds for the next generation to enjoy the shade, is very fitting of this group of people. We remember Ed Mahoney. Ed and Sharon moved to Edgewater in 2010. As many of you know, Ed dedicated many volunteer hours in various leadership roles, including serving as your resident council president for more years, he said to me, than he had ever intended. Ed was always supportive of the work of the foundation and often called to share an idea or share an article with me, or he'd email me. Ed and Sharon like to support many Edgewater funds, including the Samaritan Fund, the Scholarship Fund. They often made gifts in memory of friends or in honor of friends. They like to fund the Spiritual Life Fund. They were inducted to the Circle of Loving Kindness in 2019 for their major support of Edgewater. Ed passed last fall. We remember Ed for his generosity and for his big smile. We continue to appreciate Sharon and thank her for her support of Edgewater and the Axe Legacy Foundation. We remember Patty McHugh. Patty and Michael moved to Edgewater in 2016. I remember the first time I met Patty and Michael. They were in the cafe, and we weren't sitting too far from each other, and she was laughing and talking, and I really was attracted to that energy, and I got closer, and we just started chatting it up. We became friends, and that was that. She shared with me that the reason they came to Edgewater was because her mother was living here and receiving care, and she was very appreciative of the services that she received, and she knew when they were ready for care that this is the place they were going to come, and they were very happy to be here. And the only thing that they were sad about is that at the time they had to sell their boat. Patty told me many times that she believed in the Samaritan Fund program and appreciated that families would not have to bear the financial burden if their loved ones outlived their money. Michael passed in December of 2020, and Patty in November of 2022. But earlier this year, Edgewater received a bequest in support of your Samaritan Fund. We will meet a lot of people on this life's journey, and Patty and Michael were the kind of people that you were happy to meet. We are grateful for Patty and Michael, and we were so glad that they did choose Edgewater at Boca Point to live. We remember them for their loving and kind spirits. For my special recognition, I'd like to thank the Scholarship Committee for all they do to run a very successful program. Under the leadership and guidance of Judy Evans, this group of people is definitely planting seeds for the future generations to enjoy the shade. She is doing a marvelous job, and I'm glad you made it back in time to get my thank you for all that you do. Appreciate you. I hope you know that. In the beginning, we had a lot of things to work on, and she got through it, and I'm so glad you hung in there. Some days I was like, oh, is she going to quit? A big thank you to all the members of the Scholarship Committee and for your part in making this program a success, for ordering bricks, for sending birthday cards, for all of the things that you do. Thank you so much. A round of applause for this group of people. They definitely deserve it. And lastly and not least, I'd like to thank the Edgewater staff for all that you do. I was running a report, and it just so happened that 4 staff members came up as long-term donors. So I started to look at each person individually, and I really wanted to share this love and commitment that they have for Edgewater. They have been making payroll contributions, so every other week, there's been a payroll contribution for over 15 years from these individuals to the Employee Catastrophic Fund. I want to thank Marty Brandt for 19 years of giving. Shanika Freedy from OBT, 21 years of giving. Winsome Terralong in Culinary, 21 years of giving. Everly Wilcox in Housekeeping, 21 years of giving. I don't know if anyone's in the room. I know Marty, if anybody else. Thank you so much for your generosity and kindness and for your love for Edgewater, the Edgewater community. Of course, I want to thank all the staff in the room, many of them also donors, and for your caring gifts in support of Edgewater programs, especially for the Employee Catastrophic Fund. Gifts to the Employee Catastrophic Fund are a true gift of love and support of employees that are often facing one of the most difficult times in their life. Like I said in the very beginning of my comments, together, working together, we can accomplish many great things. This concludes my portion of the program. I want to thank you for bestowing kindness, for being generous for the future of Edgewater. And now I'm going to ask Ray Boyle, Managing Director of the Foundation, to give us a few words of thanks.
Thank you, Elba. Thank you, Susan, for having us. My name is Ray Boyle. I'm the Managing Director of the Axe Legacy Foundation, and I don't think I've been here for about 2 years or so. We spent the day yesterday at Indian River Estates meeting with their resident leadership about some ideas that they have to improve their campus. And as Elba was making her comments about the legacy gifts that have been received here, and remembering Ed and Patty, I think they were both resident leaders when I first came to this community many years ago. I always like to emphasize the heritage of this community, in particular with the Lehman Center and the Lehmans. I'm not sure if you know, we talk a lot about the Samaritan Fund, but it was the Lehmans who were residents of Edgewater back in the 1980s who came to Axe Management at the time, Dan Irwin, I believe, and said, we need to start a fund for residents who may exhaust their resources. And they gave the first donation to establish $500,000 to establish the Axe Samaritan Fund. And that was over 30 years ago now, I guess about 34 years ago. So that heritage started here. They also then gave the funds for the Memory Support Unit, the Lehman Center here at Edgewater. Very generous residents. So that kind of tradition lives on with all the things that you're doing to support employees, with scholarships, your fellow residents, with support through your Samaritan Fund. So I thank you for that. I learned about chopped liver today. Thank you. I always try to take one takeaway when I come to a community, so I'm going to try some chopped liver eventually. That would be brave of me, but it sounds not good, but I'm sure it tastes better than it sounds. Anyway, happy to be here on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Axe Legacy Foundation, whose names are listed on the back of your program. I'd like to say thank you, and in particular on behalf of Karen Christensen and Jerry Grant, our president and our CEO, who are both very involved in the foundation, major donors to your community and all the communities in Axe. And I'd like to recognize that support from management and also the voluntary leaders who are listed on your program. It's on behalf of them that I say thanks for all that you do, for your fellow residents, for the employees, and just in general for helping improve the community here. And also on behalf of those residents who anonymously receive your Samaritan Fund benefits and support. We know who they are, we work with them, and on behalf of those folks who live here anonymously, I just want to say thanks for all you do. So thanks to you for doing all you do, and for those of you who I like to say choose to use God's gift of grace to support your fellow residents and neighbors and team members here at Edgewater. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray and Alba. Ray, have you ever heard of dry ice? Dry ice. Okay, well, just saying, FedEx delivers chopped liver to your home. I have it in my head. Dry ice, FedEx. Chopped liver's pretty good. All right, well, with that, we're going to end the meeting with our raffle. We have a great little gift here. So I hope you have your ticket. Anyone need a ticket? Okay, okay, so we need 2 tickets. All right.
2. Judy. Good, Brenda. And Sandy. I need 3 tickets.
Oh, 3 tickets.
4?
Someone's double dipping, I think.
All right. Judy, Brenda, Sandy, and Tom. These are so
Yes, Tom.
hard to, like, rip.
You need
4?
one, right?
Judy.
It's actually a mini Cooper. No, I'm kidding. It's a cute little mug. And with some goodies in there. Enjoy the journey. So hopefully you like coffee or tea, and you can, or soup.
Tom,
Heat up
Brenda,
some soup.
And Judy. Which Judy? There's 2 Judy. This Judy. Well, Tom just got one. Pat got one. Judy got hers. Well, but we said, who needs a ticket? Who needs a ticket?
We need one more ticket.
Okay.
And dinner will be served in like 5 minutes, right? Tom needs a, yes. Okay, everyone has a ticket.
Thank you, Delia.
We accomplished something. Yes. Oh, we have chopped liver in here too. Okay, so the lucky winner is okay, the number is 5265830. 830. The last three digits, 830. Oh, Mr. Posner. All right, the Posners have two prizes today. All right, well, I want to thank everyone for being here today, and I hope you have a great day ahead. Stay safe and well, and thanks again.